about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it.
Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip, cold winter. All my niggas eating good. I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides fucking with me. Check, coming, check, leaving flex season. Fuck 12, come and get me. Get your ass to run around high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks. Give your bitch a whiplash. Slide through hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. B&Me so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these pussies ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service don't come unless you bringin' condoms to me.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.
What it do, what it do, what it do. What it do, what it do. What's good, what's good, what's good. Let me know where you checking in from as you come in. Let me know where you checking in from. Like always, do a quick roll call real quick. Make sure this is on Instagram. How everybody doing? Let me know where you checking in from. That like button as you come in. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hamilton, Ohio in the building. North Carolina in the building. What else we got in the building? Let me know where you checking in from. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yep. Let me see. Make sure everything's straight. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Let me know where you checking in from. Oh. Let it build up a little bit. I just got the notification, so it's sending out the notification. Oh man, they coming in with the questions already, man. Q&A is at the end, but if you want me to answer questions in the middle of the show, you know, you can. When I see that super chat pop up, I'll stop what I'm doing, answer a question for a super chat. Other than that, then Q&A is at the end. But I'm gonna hold all them questions to the end unless it's a super chat. I know it's a lot of truck rental questions. I know I put out that truck rental gouging video. I do got information. U.S. Congress, a couple representatives from the U.S. Congress, but I'll say that for that segment of the show because I know that's the hot topic, the rental truck rates, and it's slow right now. It's unseasonably slow for September. I know a lot of people have been saying how it's slow, Amazon is slow, and this is slow. I'm just here to tell you everything is slow, unseasonably slow. But that goes into what I've been saying for the past few weeks about the peak season. I'm letting you know, man, people don't have it. Everybody is thinking about last year. A lot of people that came into the game last year is, you know, they head is spinning right now. But I'm here to tell you, last year wasn't normal. And people starting to realize that now. Unfortunately, you know, And trust me, I get the calls, I get the DMs, I get the mentorship coaching sessions, and well, man, we're gonna talk about it though, man. We're gonna talk about it. We're going to talk about it. You know, we're gonna talk about it. Let the room build up a little bit more. Get to 25 people. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in, then everybody can come in. But let me know where you're checking in from as you come in, though. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me see what we got here. Texas in the building. Brian, I see your question. I'm gonna get to it. You gotta give me a minute. Mississippi in the building. Who else we got in the building? We got Chicago in the building. Any Midwest in the building? What's good? What's good? How everybody doing tonight? Got Charlotte in the building. Connecticut in the building. Man, everything east to southeast. I noticed that like a lot of my subscribers, a lot of my following is southeast and east and southeast. You know. All right, Brian, I'm gonna get to you. Just give me one hot second, because once I get started, I don't stop unless I gotta go to the bathroom. But we're gonna give me a minute. I just want everything to build up. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Because this first topic I'm gonna talk about, I ain't gonna talk about it too long. I'm just gonna knock it out because a lot of people ask me about this drone delivery and what I think about it, and they want to know what I have to say about it. And I'm not going to do a video about it because I think it's too early to talk about drones and the reason why. What's going on, King? NYC in the building. Let me know where you're checking in from as you come in. Just do a quick roll call so I can know where everybody checking in from. The reason why I'm not going to do a video on it, and even though I get requested to do a video on it, is because I think it's very early for drones. The reason why I think it's very early, even though they're testing it in small towns, and that's key right there. They're testing in small towns for a reason. Small, very small towns. A lot of towns where the population is very, very small. When you're talking about drones and you're talking about drone delivery, it's an important factor that I think a lot of people are missing, and that's air traffic. You put so many drones in the air, like that air traffic has to be controlled. It has to be regulated, sort of kind of like planes, because you got, okay, so if they let Amazon, if the FAA approves Amazon for drones, they're gonna have to approve UPS, they're gonna have to approve FedEx, they're gonna have to approve a lot of different companies, last mile, middle mile companies for drones, right? And then that air traffic is gonna have to be regulated, because if it's not, you're gonna have a bunch of drones just flying in the sky, crashing into each other, and all that debris is gonna be falling on people's heads, not to mention all the recreational drones that people are flying out here. So even though I think they're testing drones and they're preparing for this to come about, I think later on in the future, what I really want to know is about the regulations and how it's going to be controlled in the air. And I'm not really hearing that yet. So when you start hearing like regulations and how they're going to do the air traffic control for drones, then that's going to let me know, okay, it's getting close. Until I start hearing about like air traffic control for drones and regulation, then it's just not something that I know. It's still, I know it's still a ways away. So that's why I haven't done a video on it. Probably not going to do a video on it, but I said I'll talk about it real quick on this podcast. So that's my take on drones for everybody that's been messaging me and asking me to talk about it. Until I start hearing talk about like air traffic control and regulations, then I don't think it's something that's near. King, what's going on? Started that XBO play today. Was that Mr. Lavelle? How's it going? How did it work out? Philly in the building. Let me know where you're checking in as you come into the live, and then do me a favor, hit that like button. All right, so moving on. So that's my take on drones. All right, so moving on, peak season. Peak season. I know this is something we've been talking about on the show for the past couple weeks. I know I made my take on it. I done heard some backlash. Some people done sent me some stuff that other people are saying. But at the end of the day, that's just business. When you're a business person, you're a businessman. You gotta forecast things. And I keep saying the same thing. I haven't switched my position on peak season. Um, if you look now, a lot of people are saying it's slow. I've been getting Amazon Relay is slow. I'm in the moving business. That's slow. Final mile business is unseasonably slow for what I've seen in a normal September. Okay, and both of my businesses. September is usually a busy month for me. Why? You got college dorms. Like this is September has always been big for moving for me and for like deliveries because a lot of parents are ordering like furniture and things for their kids' dorm rooms, and I haven't seen that this year. So when a lot of people ask me and tell me about Amazon and all these other things that are slow, I'm telling them I'm seeing it too. Final mile, I'm seeing it in moving, but that just goes to what I'm saying for peak season. You're not going to see the same peak season that you saw last year, and I just keep reiterating the same thing for like the new subscribers or people who didn't catch the video, the first video, part one or part two, or the live stream from last week or the live stream from the week before last. And I'm the type of guy. Look, if we see a peak season, I'm not saying it's not going to be a peak, and I have to keep saying that too because I don't want to. Well, you said what would be. What I'm saying, you're gonna have a normal peak season. You're gonna have a normal pre PPP. You're not gonna have a PP peak season, not a PP peak. See, last year was a PP peak season. All right, you're not gonna get that. There's no money flow, and that's why it's slow now. We're having an unseasonably slow September across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's slow. Some people are doing okay in some markets, right? And some people are having to supplement. Like I've talked to people that have had to supplement like Amazon Relay with running, apps and doing Amazon Relay and doing some mothership. They may not be able to run just straight Amazon. I'm hearing Amazon in certain markets are slow. I'm in Chicago. I'm in the third largest city in the country, and I'm telling you, moving is slow for September, and deliveries are slow. It's to the point now I'm giving discounts, and this is usually the last busy month prior to like what peak season. October is okay. It's usually moderate. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. November, the first 2 weeks kind of get slow, and then obviously, going into Black Friday, things kind of pick up, and then January is just always dead. January and February is just always dead. You get some returns maybe to the first week, but like after the first week of January, it's like dead. You know what I'm saying? But this September is so I'm just letting everybody know that's messaging me, and I've seen comments and things of that nature. It's like that across the board, which I'm telling you is going to be a testament to peak season. Expect a normal peak season. For everybody that jumped into the game last year, the peak season, and if you've been following me and subscribed for a while, then you've heard me preach this, but we get new subscribers every week, new people. I appreciate you. So to the new people that haven't heard it, you know what I'm saying? Like that peak season from last year, I'm calling it. We're not gonna see it. Expect a regular. Don't make any plans. Don't think you're finna expect a lot of bread that you seen and making plans. Man, always in business, always hope for the best and prepare for the worst. You know what I'm saying? So don't jump the gun too soon. And what we're seeing right now is just a testament to what can come, during this peak season. So that's my spiel for this week on peak season, and then next week I think I'm just going to do a update on peak season every week until we get to peak season. Because guess what? If we see a peak season like last year, I'll be the first person to tell you I called it wrong. I don't have no problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem doing that. But as a businessman, it's my job for my business to to forecast. You know what I'm saying? I have to do this, and anybody that's in business, you're supposed to do this. Supposed to look at the economy and things and prepare. You don't want to overhire. You don't want to, let's say, go out and, I've heard people say, man, they're gonna go try to find a truck or rent two trucks and hire some drivers. And you might not have the volume for that. So all right, so moving along. Real quick, Generation Z and trucking. All right, and this is something that a lot of people say there's a shortage on truckers, and then some people say there's not a shortage on truckers. So what the issue is, and what I see the issue is, um, baby boomers are coming out, right? Baby boomers are retiring, right? And Generation Z, which is like 1997 to like 2021, and then like 2022, you got this new generation. I don't even know what they're called yet. I gotta look it up. There's something, I forgot what it is, but they're not working yet. So basically, the baby boomers are coming out, and as that generation comes out, like the new generation of the youth, which is Generation Z, I suppose, to kind of like replace those jobs. So what's going on is that, like, for every 6 boomers that exit, only 2 Generation Z are filling those seats. So that's the issue I'm seeing, and that's the issue the analysts are seeing with truckers, box trucking, semi truck, and unless 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 they figure out a way to attract, like, these trucking companies, figure out a way. A lot of the technology these trucking companies have is kind of old fashioned and outdated. They have to upgrade their systems, I think, to attract a lot of these younger kids, young adults, I should say, into the industry. One is, like, if you even try to apply for some of these trucking companies, like, their mobile version of their website, it's kind of not like how it would be if you're applying online. So I think they need to, like, do things like that to make it more user friendly for the younger generation. I think the trucking lifestyle is kind of outdated and played out for the younger generation. I think they need to make it so that it's more appealing, update some of these trucks. They put more technology in some of these trucks, buy newer trucks, invest money into these truck stops where when the younger generation go to the truck stop, maybe put like some workstations with some computers or something where they can stream and do some other stuff, but just make it cooler for the younger generation to want to get into trucking. And I think that's the main reason why, um, as the baby boomers come out, Generation Z is not coming in. And then on top of that, Generation Z makes a lot of money doing things like what I'm doing right now, streaming podcasts. They make money doing this, playing video games online. So, like, trucking is not it's I mean, if you can make $1 million just playing video games and you got 5,000 people watching you play a video game, I mean, who's gonna go be a trucker? So I mean, I think they gotta figure out ways to attract the youth, and they're gonna have to figure it out quick, because if they don't, as time goes on, you're gonna see that those, as 6 come out, they're saying only 2 come in. It's gonna go from 6 to 1, and then it's gonna go from 6 to none. So they need to figure that out real quick. Uh Stockton, California in the building, Philly in the building, Chi-Town, Wild Hunters. Wild Hunters in the building. Wild Hunters is in the building. David, what's going on? Chi-Town in the building. Uh Hit that like button as you come into the chat, and let me know where you're checking in from. I'm trying to push through this so we can get to that Q&A, because that Q&A is what most people come for, that, and it goes for a very, very long time. So I'm trying to push through these topics so we can get to this Q&A. All right, so let's get to the truck rental gouging. Truck rental gouging. All right, so upon doing some research, I found out that 2 representatives, one from California and one from here, Illinois, both Democrats, have reached out to Avis, which is Budget, and I think Penske, and they want answers on to why they have increased the rates, not only on trucks but on rental cars, as well. So they're demanding information on the price hikes and possible predatory business practices. All right. So, and this is research I did after I did the video. Obviously, if I would have did the video, I would have put this information in there and it would have been better for the video. And I actually should have did this. I should have dug deeper before I did the video because this information would have been valuable. It would have been valuable for that video. But so yeah, they've actually reached out to these companies, Avis, which is budget, right? And Penske, I believe. Hold on, I don't want to make sure. I don't want to be it was Avis and Hertz. I'm sorry. Avis and Hertz. But Avis is budget. So same thing for price hikes and uh predatory business practices. All right, so this is a good thing for everybody that's in an expensive rental, but and people that are looking to get a rental, but haven't jumped the gun for obvious reasons. um we hope you wrong on the peak season. Hey, let's make a bet. I bet we're gonna have a regular peak season. I know everybody want to make all the money, but we got to be realistic here. Sorry, I jumped off topic, but for everybody that's in an expensive rental, I know I did that video and I was really, 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 really straightforward in that video. If here's the thing, here's the thing. When I do these consultations and I do these coaching sessions, right? And I say this all the time, man. I say it all the time. And I have to navigate why a person is not, succeeding in the business. And one of the first things I asked was what's your expenses? I need it broken down. One of the main reasons is because of overhead. And the largest overhead that I'm seeing is these rental rates. Like, man, listen, I'm gonna say it over and over and over again. I really don't, care what other people are saying. I'm not here to see nobody fail. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just not the right time. You know what I'm saying? I had a situation. I remember when I was first started my moving business. After 2 years being in business, I hadn't bought myself anything yet. You know what I'm saying? I had just working, building a business. I had been in the business 2 years. It was 2012, and I hadn't bought myself nothing yet. So I had a lot of money and was just working. I wanted to buy a new car. I wanted to reward myself. I remember going to this place called Apple Chevrolet. I wanted a Camaro real bad. The Camaros had just came back out in 2010. I'm just going to give you an example. I went to this dealership in Orland Park, Illinois, and here they see this black kid coming in, young. I'm 42 now. I know I look young, so imagine how I looked at 32. Young, with short dreads. I had just started growing my locks, and they didn't know I had a pocket full of money or what I had in my bank account, but they tried to play me. I said, I want this Camaro. I seen it online. It was white SS, fully loaded, right? I said, I want to take a look at that. They wouldn't even let me look at it. They wouldn't give me a test drive. They took me into the office and they said, man, can you put 10,000 down? Now I could put 10,000 down, but my credit score was a 702 at that time. And I don't understand why they want me to put 10,000 down. Not only did they say I had to put 10,000 down, they told me they would shop the deal and they would call me Monday. So they didn't even let me look at the car. They wanted me to give them 10 grand and then they would shop the deal. Now I bought in cars before and I knew that's just not how it works. At least I get a test drive. We do some numbers. You run my credit, you go back. They was trying to play me, right? So luckily I was smart. Even though I really wanted the car, I wasn't thirsty. I went back home. I was upset, but I went back home, right? And I looked for other Chevy dealerships. The following week, I found this place called Phillips Chevrolet in Frankfort, Illinois. I found another Camaro I wanted, top of the line, everything. I went out there. They treated me totally different. They treated me with respect. All right. They treated me like they didn't judge me how I look. All right. And there was one guy, a bunch of other salespeople walked past me that didn't even ask me that I need help. One guy that came to me, he said, man, where you look? I said, I want to look at this car. He said, give me a minute. He went and got the key. He put the key in there saying, get in. He rolled with me. He didn't ask me for my driver's license or nothing. I drove the car, I test drove it. We went back in. He said, "Man, what do? You got your checks?" I said, "I'm my own business." He said, "All right, well, we need to see." Um, he said, "We need to see your bank statement. Can you log into your account? We just need to see. You need to make at least 3 times what the note would be." And I logged in and I showed him the previous month. This was July. I showed him June. He said, "Man, you deposited what the car cost just last month. Holy shit." All right. So the point of the story is they tried to play me at the first place. And if I would have went for the first place, I would have spent a lot more and I wouldn't have got the car. They weren't going to give me the car. They had no plans on giving me a car. They just wanted my 10 grand. They wanted my 10 grand and they wanted to play with me. You see what I'm saying? So I waited. I wasn't thirsty. Same thing with the box truck, the rental. Sometimes you gotta wait and you gotta play the situation and play it right. All right. I do a lot of consultations. I do a lot of coaching sessions, and I've had 2 people in the past week that have reached out to me and said, "Man, look, this is the rate that they're giving me." All right. And I said, "No, do this." "Well, how can I get the rate? How can I get the rate?" And I'm gonna tell you what I told them to do to get the rate down. I'm not gonna tell them online, and I can't tell you guys online because these people actually paid me for the consultation to coach them into getting a cheaper rate. All right, it's certain terminology that I gave them and certain things that I told them to go to get these rates lowered. One person, he had to go back 2 times in order to get the rates lowered. So basically, what I'm saying is the first time you go somewhere, where it's the first place of the first time, you can always go somewhere else. Go places where people are willing to play ball with you. And then when you go to these places, you have to be very intelligent and you have to talk like you know what you're talking about. I said that in part 1. All right. Because people will play with you because what they're doing is gouging. All right. It's unfair business practices. The truck is the truck. All right. 450 a week, which includes 1,000 miles, right? 10 cents a mile. That has always been my rate for a 26-foot box truck. Always. So why is it that I've heard people tell me they're paying 2,500, 2,200, 1,800, 1,500, 1,200, 900, 38 cents a mile? These are real numbers. You can go in the comments. People put these numbers in the comments. People tell me these numbers on these live chats or these live streams. People say these numbers in their coaching sessions. And I'm not, telling you this. I'm telling you this because these are the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to these places, you got to know what to say to these places. If they feel like they can get you, they're going to get you. That dealership tried to get me. I had enough sense to walk away, but I was thirsty because I really want that car because I really want to stunt, right? But I had enough sense to walk away. All right. So basically what I'm saying is sometimes you got to walk away from one situation to get into a better situation. If a company is not willing to play ball with you, that doesn't mean you just take the first offer or take what they throwing at you. If they throwing BS at you, that you don't have to take it. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to play. And to the people who are in these rentals, I said it before. It how do you say this? I want to be politically correct. I don't want to sound mean, and I don't want to feel like I'm making somebody, because we had a guy on the show last week that had to give his rental back. I had another person who wanted to come on the show tonight and talk about how he had to give his rental back because the rate is killing him. If you're in a high rental, and the reason I'm preaching like this is because, man, if I can save one person, look, if you're in a high rental, you're not making money. That brighter day you're looking for, it's not going to come. Your rental is going to stay high. They're not going to just magically lower your rate. They're not going to do it. All right. It's just is what it is. And I'm seeing these truck rental companies knock people off the block every single week. Every single week, somebody getting knocked off the block. Every single week, I got to get 2 or 3 DMs or 2 or 3 coaching sessions or 2 or 3 comments. I'm reading the comments. Man, Mark, I had to turn my truck in today. So there's nothing wrong with if mentally you're in a truck and this truck rental rate is killing you. This is what I suggest you do. First thing you do is you call the truck rental company that you're dealing with and you ask them that, hey, I need to renegotiate this rate. Well, man, the rate is the rate. You got a contract. Look, man, what you guys are doing, this is predatory. At that point, when I get ready to go to that point, right? When I get ready to go to that point, I'm already expecting, look, if I got to turn it in, I got to turn it in. But I'm going to let them know that, look, in order for you to make money, I got to make money. All right. If I can't make money, if I'm running just to keep you in business, it doesn't make sense for me to keep this truck. You know, I mean, who wants to stop their business because, I get it. I get it. But if you gotta, if you're dealing with a predatory situation, and I'm calling it predatory because that's what they call it. Now that I know that Congress, two representatives from Congress done reached out, then I can call it, because now I know what I'm talking about. That lets me know that I know what I'm talking about because I did the video. And obviously, if I would have known this when I did the video, I would have put this in the video. But now, since I know what I know, I'm going to call it what I know it is anyway. It's predatory. So call them on it. Man, this is predatory. This is not even, doesn't even make sense. I'm paying $1,500, I'm paying $1,800, I'm paying $2,200, $2,500, $1,200. It's ridiculous. You're not going to make money like that. You're in a low margin business. This is low margin. Anybody that tells you this is a high margin business is lying to you. Yes, you can make money in it, but these margins in this business are low. You're not a landscaper. That's a high margin business. Storage facilities, that's a high margin business. Why? Because you're renting storage. You build a place, right? You have one person working there. That's it. The place closes, the office manager closes at 6, they go home, the storage unit is open at 10, you come in, you pull stuff in the storage, you pull stuff. It's a place that operates itself. Banking, that's high margin. Trucking is low margin. So you have to reduce your overhead in the gate. You're dealing with a piece of equipment that is going to cost you money. The fuel is going to cost you money. The maintenance is going to cost you money. If you got employees, they're going to cost you money. The regulations, the tolls, the unforeseen situations. If you run an OTR, you got to eat. If you guys are just sleeping in your truck, guess what? You're going to have to pay to take a shower at the truck stop. If you're not sleeping in your truck, because you're not supposed to be sleeping in your truck anyway, guess what? You got to pay for hotels. Even final mile, it's high margin. I got claims I got to deal with. Minus the claims, it's still, it's low margin. I'm sorry, still low margin. Even if I was to run clear with no claims, it's still low margin. It just is what it is. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but you can expect a big chunk of it to go to expenses. All right. And if you're running a truck that is 4 to 5 to 6 times, from what I'm hearing, what it would normally cost, how do you expect to make money? Call these companies and complain. Get to bitching and complaining. I'm telling you what to do. If you sit in the truck and you just paying them, then that's on you. I'm telling you, call them and get to complaining and threaten to bring it back. Yeah, they may call your bluff, but at the end of the day, let them call my bluff, because I'm not paying $1,600 for no truck. I'm telling you now, $450 is what I've always paid. I haven't ridden a truck. I think last time we needed a truck was 2019. But guess what? I wouldn't pay no more right now. I wouldn't pay no more if I'm running OTR middle mile or Amazon relay. Man, the most I'm paying is $650, maybe $7. I'm not paying no more than that, and I'm not paying no more on the high end. 19 cents a mile. It's got to be in the teens, and I don't want to pay that. I'm pitching for 10 to 15. If you running final mile, you can pay a little bit more because you check in a bigger bag. You spending less money on fuel because you're not running that far. You're not burning gas every day like that, right? And your expenses are a little bit lower, so you can pay a little bit more because you're checking money consistently on a 5, 6, 7 day period, right? And then, like a moving company, if I needed a 26 footer right now for a move and they told me $1,000 a week, and I gave this example This is the only way I would pay $1,000+ a week for a 26-footer if you have a moving company. I know I need a 26-footer. I got extra moves lined up that I need an extra truck on my truck. Let's say my 26-footer breaks down. I need a truck. They got a truck. I go get a truck. I got 3 5-bedroom houses to move that week. Just 3. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's $4,000 and $4,000 easy each job. So I'll pay them $1,000. I'll pay them 40, 50 cents a mile. Why? Because when the truck goes to the move, it's sitting there 6 hours. While the truck loads, it drives 10 miles to the unload, or 15 or 20 miles. I don't care. To the unload, it sits there another 4 hours while they unload, 5 hours. I'm charging these people $250, $300 an hour. That truck paid for itself the first 2.5 hours of the move with the truck fee and the labor fee. So I don't care. So I got another 10 hours on that job plus the other 2 jobs later on down the week. That truck gonna make me 12 to 15 grand. That's the only way I would pay these rates for a 26-footer. You got to understand. But if you're running OTR and you're burning miles and you're burning fuel, you're not going to be able to make money like that. The only way you're going to do is if you rent a truck for a moving company at these high rates. You can make money because your earning potential is greater. You're charging $200-$300 an hour. And then a $300-$400 truck fee. They plan for a truck fee. You charge a truck fee. It's a different ball game. All right. So that's my spiel. Call these rental companies and start bitching and complaining and tell them it's predatory practices that they are doing. And if you don't believe me, it was in the Washington Post. You can go look it up. So there you go. I just dropped some sauce for you guys. And yeah, that thing, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So it's on everybody. I keep reporting on it, but hey man, get up out them trucks, man. Even if you got to turn your truck in and sit out for a month till you get a good rate, man. Don't cheat yourself, man. Don't cheat yourself, man. All right, so with that being said, let's swing over to this box truck pricing. I want to show you guys something. And for everybody that was on the live stream last Tuesday, I want to show you guys something, which is going to be a further testament because somebody sent me something. And see, I'm not with the beef. I don't do the beef. All right. I don't do beef. All right. It's different over here. I'm from Chicago. We don't beef over minor little goofy box truck and stuff. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to show people something, and this is going to be a further testament, all right, to what I'm saying and more proof to the way the economy is right now. It was like, let's see, hold on, let me pull this. Let me share my screen real quick. Share screen. Oh man, let me see this real quick. All right, bet them up. Bet. All right, so let's take a look at something real quick. All right, so for everybody that was on the stream last week, we went and looked at truck prices. All right, I've been called truck price. I said that back in April, May, truck prices are gonna come down. You get a truck now. Yeah, people got sent off and bought them $85,000 trucks. Marky Mark called it. I was off on the months. I said December. I said January. It happened August, September, but I called it. All right, they steady coming down. But let me show you something. I just want to show you something real quick. All right, so for everybody that was on the stream last week, remember this truck? $19,000. Yeah, it's old, but guess what? If you take your mechanic with you and he say it's a go, then it's a go. This is a $20,000 truck. All right, now check it out. The point I'm trying to make is it's still sitting there. 7-8 months ago, one, this truck wouldn't be this low, and two, as soon as it went up, it would have been gone. Somebody would have been on a flight headed to Wisconsin to go get this truck. I watched a guy at auction buy a 26-foot box truck. It was so bad back then, earlier this year. I watched a guy at auction buy a 26-foot box truck that didn't run and the engine was shot. They had to get it towed out of there. for $31,000. $31,000. This truck has been sitting. If you go watch my live stream from last week, from last Tuesday, this truck was there, still sitting there. This truck, even though this is a CDL one, they keep dropping the price. That's still sitting there. This truck was there last week. It's still sitting there. This one is still sitting there. All this 2007 Hino, this is a non-CDL one. It's still sitting there. These trucks are still, they're not moving. Not only the price is coming down, they're not moving. People want to get into the box truck game. Don't get me wrong. People want to get into the box truck game, but why you think the trucks ain't moving? Why you think the trucks ain't moving? I just want somebody to give me an answer and let me know why they think the trucks ain't moving. Why do you not think those trucks move at those cheap prices? Why you don't think the trucks moving? All right. My bad. I'm gonna give you the answer. The money. That's why they're not moving. It ain't got nothing to do with peak season, Brian. Listen, like peak season, check it out. Peak season is 6 weeks, guys. 6 weeks. That's it. That's it. It's 52 weeks in a year. Everybody talking about peak season. Peak season is 6 weeks. Peak season ain't gonna make you rich. It's not gonna make you rich. It's not gonna make you successful. It's not gonna turn you into a mogul. Peak season is 6 weeks, man. It's 6 weeks. That's it. 6 weeks, man. It's still 46 other weeks in the year that you got to worry about and get money. All right. We know peak season is going to be more volume than now, right? But you have to plan for those other periods of the year where it's uncertainty. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to plan for. You don't have to plan for the certain things. The only thing that's uncertain for peak season right now is a lot of people think they're going to see a peak season from last year. You're not going to see it. You're going to see a normal holiday season, which is going to be high volume, higher than it is the rest of the year, but it's not going to be like it was last year. $20,000. People was getting 20,000 PPPs last year. They would have just cashed out. The point that I'm trying to make is, as many people that are still trying to get into this industry, there's no reason that those trucks are still sitting. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You know, the economy will answer a lot of your questions for you. You know, just paying attention to, like I said last week, consumer behavior will answer a lot of these questions. If consumers haven't been spending money all year long, do you think they're going to go crazy? They're going to buy a kid's Christmas gift, yeah, but they're not going to go crazy like they did last year, man. I swear, I promise you, I don't think anybody asked me for a loan last year. I don't think nobody asked me for a loan last year. No cap. I don't think I had to loan anybody money last year. This year, stop playing with me, man. Consumer behavior, man. If you pay attention to consumer behavior, a lot of your questions will be answered. You'll know how to play the industry. All right. Like, the consumer behavior ain't going to lie to you. It's not going to lie to you, man. I'm telling you. But we'll see. This is just one of them situations where we just going to have to see, man. You know, but you know, it is what it is. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. You got trucks. Hold on, let me pull that back up again. Let me see some real quick. Where is that? Let's see. You got trucks that are sitting that somebody right now is paying $1,800 for a budget truck or a rider truck, or $1,200. I don't care if it's 1,000, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's still too much. $950 is too much. It's better than 1,800, but it's still too high. You know what I'm saying? So this is if it's a good truck, it's a good truck. This is a non-CDL Hino for 37. Why is it still sitting? Why is this truck still sitting? Why are these trucks still sitting? That's the question. That's the question. You know, 6 months ago when I first, man, let me know. You know where's the truck at? I'm ready to go get a truck right now. Let me know where it's at. I'm flying to it. Man, you got trucks still sitting for 20,000. So it, it is what it is. All right, man. Q&A. That's my spiel. Q&A. 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 I'm gonna scroll up to the top, man. Go ahead and let me know where you're checking in from. If you just came into the live, do me a favor, hit that like button on your way in. Let me see something real quick. Let me kill this real quick. Where is it at? Where is that at? Where is that at? Let me kill this real quick. Boom. Let me go back to this. All right, let me go back up to the top. Q&A time. Let me start with the questions. Let me know where you're checking in from. I know it was one question. Somebody, I think it was Brian. Hold on. It was at the top. All right, Brian. Is 2K a week from Ryder a lot? I think I just answered that question, Brian. If you still in the chat, yeah, I think it's too much. I'm in Connecticut, and that's how much they're charging me. Brian, take the truck back. That's too much. 2,000 a week for a truck is too much, bro. It's too much, man. What are you making? Like, you paying 2K a week for the truck, and then what they charging you for the miles? You see, this is what I'm saying. Dayton, Ohio in the building. What's up, son? Michigan in the building. Detroit in the building. Hey, Brian, I'm waiting for you to respond so I go to this next question. I know it's a delay, about a 10-second delay, so I'll chill out for a second. But let me know what you're paying for the mileage. If you're paying $2,000 a week for the truck from Ryder, I'm curious to know what you're paying for the mileage, and I also want to know what you're running. Are you running Amazon Relay? Are you running middle mile off the load board? Brian J. All right, we'll come back to Brian. I'll wait. Matter of fact, let me just drop that link too. Hold on for a second. Stop that. Let me drop the link to the chat. Anybody want to come on and holler at your boy? Let me pin that real quick. There go the link. Brian K, that's too much money though. So I don't know. I'll wait for your response, but yep, it's too much. He probably left after he heard my spiel about the rental rates. He probably bounced. Start that XPO today. Congratulations. Chi-Town in the building. Always gotta get Chi-Town love. A lot of restaurants are closing for the winter. I don't know nothing about that. We hope you wrong on the peak season. I bet you are. I hope I'm wrong too, but I know consumer behavior. I know micro and macroeconomics, and I know that last year was last year you had PPP, you had idle, you had that child care stuff that the parents got, you had stimuluses, you had PUA, you had a bunch of other things, and people get money. Some people got all of that money and still work the job. Now, I'm not saying if it was right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you had all that money circulating. All right. That's why last year's numbers were through the roof. It was unprecedented. All right. Unprecedented numbers. All right, we're not going to see those numbers. Like the economy has done a full 360. We seeing the complete opposite of what we saw last year. Everybody was happy. You go on Instagram, everybody. I couldn't even get in Gucci. I had to wait in line and make an appointment. Now I could just walk straight in Gucci. I couldn't walk straight in Gucci. The Burberry line was long, halfway down the block. You couldn't even find a box truck if you wanted to find one. They was all gone. People was buying them up. Now you got box trucks sitting for 25,000 for weeks. So, I mean, if you pay attention to the consumer behavior says, hey, we ain't got it. We ain't got it like how we had it last year. So if you see consumer behavior all year, consumer behavior saying we ain't got it, I just don't understand where it's going to come from in December. It's going to come, but it ain't going to be like that. And that's just, man, it's just that. It's just that. So 2K a week is too much. I think Brian bounced. Yeah, Brian, 2K a week is too much, man. 2K a week is too much. Way too much. Way too much. Can the owner of the company have a felony and get approved for Amazon Relay? I really don't know. I don't think so. I know Amazon, the warehouse workers, they can have a background, but the middle mile people, I don't think you can have certain things on your background. I think. And the reason why, somebody actually asked me that question earlier today, to be honest with you. And I think the reason why the background is lenient for people that work in the warehouse at Amazon versus, I guess, trucking people is because the people that work in the warehouse are contained. They go in the warehouse, they got cameras everywhere. I think they search their bags as they come out or in or whatever, or both. All right, so they're watching them. You pick up a load and you leave, they're entrusting you with that you're going to get it from point A to B and just not disappear. And that's something that's been going on. There's been a lot of loads disappearing. I'm not saying from Amazon, but there's been loads disappearing. You know what I'm saying? So people aren't picking up loads and not dropping them off. It's happening. So I think that's why, and I think that's why they lenient and they not lenient. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. You know, you're more entrusted when you're out there on your own versus working in a warehouse at Amazon where they're watching you. You know, every single move you make, they're watching you. So. Yeah, they ain't trying to play you. They is playing you. The 2,000 a week is too much. How much did they save by you giving them the negotiation tactics? You talking about you talking about, well, one guy, they started him at 28, and then the first time he came to me, he came back, he said, man, I got him down to 22 cent amount. He said, is that okay? This was yesterday. And I said, hell no, that ain't okay. Get him into the teens. Now, if he come back and he say 19, then I'm just going to tell him to go ahead and ride with it. I think that's still on the higher side, but it's way better than 28. And I understand what's going on now. So I say anything, if you're running OTR, middle mile OTR, playing the load board, I think anything in the teens, I'll roll with anything in the teens. So if he hit me back tomorrow, he hasn't gotten back. The other dude that I'm talking about, he got down to 16 cent a mile. 750 and 16 cent a mile. I mean, 650 is my number, but coming from where he came from, I know he can still make money at 750 and 16 cent a mile. So I told him roll with it. But I appreciate them for even listening to me. I appreciate them for even hitting me up and contacting me and saying, man, hey Mark, what do you think? What do you think? And then me telling them, nah, man, go say this, go do this, go say this, and then they saw that, man, guess what? You can actually negotiate, but you have to know what to say. You got to know what to say, man. You got to know what to say. I said that in part one. All right. I said that Well, I didn't say in part two. I dispel myths in part one, but that was something that I said. You got to know what to say. If you come in there and they see that you green and you new because it's popular and they know they can get you, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. All right. But if you know how to talk and what to say, you know what I'm saying, then they gonna, hey, but you gotta know what to say. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no such thing as no special rental account manager and all this. Listen here, they all rental account managers. When you walk in the budget, when you walk in the rider, when you walk in the enterprise, when you walk in the Penske, everybody that's trying to rent you a truck is a rental account manager. All right. They're a rental account manager. That doesn't make one person special from the next. All right. Because guess what? They rent you a truck and then they manage it. And not only do they manage your account, they manage everybody else's account that they rent to. Because if I rent a truck from Julie and I call Julie and the truck breaks down, I'm gonna call Julie. Hey, Julie, your truck broke down. I need you to swap me out. Julie is the one hitting my card every Friday. Rental account manager, so it's just you got to know what to say, man. So I told you about Congress. I told you that they have written letters to Avis and Hertz about the unfair predatory practices that they're doing. They're just not doing it with the box truck. They're doing it with the car rentals too. You got people renting U-Haul vans as rentals or U-Haul trucks, small U-Haul trucks, 10 footers and 15 footers, because Hertz and Avis and all these people are gouging on the rental cars. But U-Haul is still $19.99. Now they charge you more for a mile, it's like $1.29 a mile. But hey, it's still coming out cheaper than renting a car. I'm reading articles about people renting small U-Haul trucks in the place of renting cars. So they gouging all around the board, $2K a week with 3K miles a week. Well, what are you paying for the miles? You paying $2,000 a week for the truck, but what are you paying for the miles? I think he left. Yeah, he left, man. He left. He ain't responding. He heard that spiel I talked about, the rental truck gouge, and he probably bounced. He probably on the phone calling corporate right now. As someone who's new to the game, what do peak season numbers versus peak season versus regular season numbers look like? Well, that all depends on what you're doing. I mean, peak season versus a regular peak season versus regular season. Obviously, so I'm not gonna give you numbers. I just do, because everybody's numbers are gonna be different depending on what they're doing. I explained it earlier. Peak season, which was last year, was the peak season because of the PPP, the EIDL, the child care money, the stimuluses, the PUA, all the government money that was given out. Everybody had money last year. Everybody had money. It's a 360 this year. You don't see people spending the way you saw people spending last year. Everything is down except for essentials this year. Everything has been down except for essentials. The consumer behavior has changed, right? Because that money that was given to do, people did what they were supposed to do with that money, all right? Stimulate the economy. And that they did. All right. But now, we're seeing a recession, all right, because when you have inflation that came along with that, and normally after inflation follows a recession, all right. So people don't have that money anymore. The economy is kind of gone back. You're dealing with inflation. People don't have that money. All right. So if volume was here last year, and this is normal regular season, and then this is peak season around, this is normal holiday peak season. This is PP peak season. This is regular peak season, and this is the other 46 weeks out of the year. That's what you're looking at. Really, I want to go up here for peak season, but then that puts me out of the camera frame. So I'm just trying to give you an example. All right. So, regular season, peak season, and then you had an unprecedented peak season due to all the money that was given out to stimulate the economy, and people stimulated the economy. I'm not saying it was anything wrong with it. People did what they were supposed to do, but I keep, no matter how much I preach it, it just don't seem like people aren't understanding that you're not going to see. And maybe it's not people that have been in the game for a while. Maybe it's the people who came into the game last year and that was their first holiday season, and they thinking that it's always like that, and it's not. It's not always like that. And once again, you're going to see volume. You're going to see more volume than you see normally. It's just not going to be to the extent of last year. You know, it's just not going to be to that extent. If I'm wrong, then I'll come on here and tell you I'm wrong. I mean, it ain't going to change nothing wrong with predicting and prospecting. That's what you're supposed to do when you a business person. But I mean, this is just obvious, man. This is just obvious. People don't have it. You know, people don't have it. They don't have it to spend. All right. The reason they spent it last year is because it was given. All right. So back to normal. Budget $1,200 a week, 29 cents per mile. Too much. Enterprise $1,000 a week, 25%, 25 cents per mile. It's too much. Too much. It's better than what Brian is paying at 2K, but it's still too much. Now, what are you doing? Are you running final mile? You running middle mile? What are you doing? Whatever Brian's doing, I don't care what he's doing. Only way Brian gonna make money at 2K is if he moving dope. Then it don't matter. Other than that, 2K, I don't care what you doing. That's too much. 2K a week? Nah. For a 26 footer? Nah. Nah, man. Unless you moving dope, then no. Bro over here in Stockton, Colorado is charging $1,100 a week. It's too much. Check this out. Ryder is gonna always be the most expensive. They're gonna always be the most expensive of anything. If you buying a truck from Ryder, they're gonna be more expensive. If you lease a truck from Ryder, they lease gonna be more expensive. If you rent a truck from Ryder, they're gonna be more expensive than any of the other trucking companies, rental companies. Peace fam, what I just missed. Man, I don't know where you checked in from, but I'm gonna put it up for replay after I go off. So you'll be able to replay it back. Trying to get a rental and some insurance to get my authority active. Only got 5 more days and still can't find anything good for both. Trying to get a rental. I say just keep at it. Try to get on the waiting list. And just take some of the advice that I gave, man. Don't spend too much, especially if you're running Amazon, you're running middle mile. If a big part of your expense is the truck, right? You're running middle mile, so you're paying for the miles. You're running middle mile, so you're burning miles, right? And you're burning because you're running so many miles because that's the land you chose. You're burning more fuel. Those are 3 big expenses. All right. You can't come into the door with a high overpaying for the truck. You got to keep that low from the jump. You got to keep it low from the jump. So man, make sure you get a good rate. It's not peak season. We know it's not peak season. I'm not sure if the guy I'm using is licensed in Michigan, but can I give you the number if you want to try? Oh no, y'all having a side conversation. Mark, hey Mark, Dayton, Ohio, what's going on? What's up, son? Ohio in the building. Let me see. Yeah, side conversation. Our last mile rates negotiable. Yes, sir. They're negotiable. Pretty much every last mile contract I've had to negotiate. So yes, they are willing to negotiate. And the more leverage you got, the easier the negotiations. One thing about leverage, they're gonna ask you how many trucks can you provide. Obviously, the more trucks you can provide, the stronger your leverage is going to be as far as negotiating. But yeah, that you can definitely negotiate. There's some companies that are kind of sticklers, like XPO. They kind of a stickler on negotiations, but if you're in a market and they really need you and you got some leverage, then yeah. What is your opinion of using dispatchers and or brokers in combo with Amazon Relay with new authority? You don't need dispatchers or brokers if you run an Amazon Relay. You can just go on Amazon Relay load board and find your own loads. There are brokers that do post Amazon Relay loads on load boards, but if you're approved for Amazon, you can just go on the Amazon Relay site or app and pick your own loads. Why give somebody else money for something that you can do yourself? And that goes back to what I'm saying is about margins. This is already a low margin business. It's a low margin industry. So you have to decrease your overhead as much as possible. So in a situation like this where you can go pick your own loads, why give somebody 10% or whatever to do something that you have access to do for yourself, especially with Amazon, you can just do it yourself. I wouldn't no, I wouldn't. Yes, it is. That's monthly truck note plus. I don't know what y'all talking. I don't know what this is about. Penske tried to get me at 1,400 a week and 35 cents a mile. Yeah, they tried to get you. They tried to get. They tried to get you. Felonies no longer matter. It used to. There go your answer. So I guess felonies don't matter on the relay side no more. Man, with these box truck prices, you can buy a truck after 1 or 2 months. Most definitely. I just showed trucks for 20,000, 25,000, 28,000, 30, 38,000. So, I mean, with some of the rates that people paying like 2,000, and it here's the thing, it's not their fault. A lot of people that got into the game last year or earlier this year, they were just misinformed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were misinformed. Um, a lot of people didn't do their research right. You know what I'm saying? So if you're getting into a game and you've been um you've been kind of researching it, and then you go to all these companies and all these companies are pitching the same numbers, and then on top of that, they ain't none of them got a truck. It's a scramble for a truck. So then when one call you and tell you they got a truck, you just gonna bite at it. A lot of these people that's getting into the game don't really know that these rates that they paying is ridiculous because they new to the game. They not understanding they getting into the game, you know, with and these rates are inflated. Unless they talk to somebody who's been in it for a while, at least 3 to 3 years or more, that say, hey man, these ain't normal rates. The normal rates is 450, 500. The average rate for a 26 footer is $500 a week. And you getting miles, 1,000. All right. I was paying 450. All right. You getting miles, you paying. I would get the insurance. When I was getting trucks, when I needed extra trucks, I would take their insurance. I wouldn't even use my insurance. Why? Because I'm paying $10 a day for the insurance. If something happened to the truck, I'm paying them the $1,000 and I'm telling them to come get your truck. It ain't gonna go against my insurance. I don't have to worry about my premium. I don't worry about having to worry about if the truck get into an accident. Um, when I was up for renewal, they weren't gonna renew me. I would just pay the $10 for their insurance. It was sweet. We didn't know it was sweet back then. We just thought it was regular. If people would have known the pandemic was coming and race was gonna go sky high, people would have probably rented trucks and sat on them back in 2019 or early 2020 when the pandemic first hit. I swear to God, I remember this. When the pandemic first hit in March, like by the end of March, Penske called me every single week. They were begging me to come get Mark. You need an extra truck. Man, what do you mean? The pandemic, everything closed. This is when people didn't know what it was. They thought, man, we was going to be like I Am Legend around this month. You know what I'm saying? Everything was shut down. They was trying to figure out what it was. They shut down everything. Everything was cold. So this was like maybe the second week after President Trump called it, whatever. Like end of March, whatever. They called me every week, all through April. Man, Mark, you need a truck. We got a good rate. They told me $400 a week for a 26 footer. $400 a week, 10 cents a mile. They was begging to come pick up a truck. All right, because when nobody ran trucks, people's businesses were shut down. People didn't. There was uncertainty, and nobody know what was going on. It's different now. You know what I'm saying? It's different now. So going back again. If you're in a high rental, call the rental truck company and lean on them. You in their truck. You paying $2,000, $1,500 a week. Call and lean on them. Tell them, man, I need a cheaper rate. I can't make no money. Y'all gouging me. Use the word gouging. That's the free gem right there. I'm gonna give you 2 free gems: gouging and predatory. Use those words, and then let me know how that went for you. And you can tell them, hey, it's an article, man, that y'all being doing some possible predatory practices, and let me know how. See if you can get a 10 cent knocked off of per mile or something. What's your take on Omnitronic Selectors load board? They're the best, from what I hear. They're the best. They're the most expensive. I don't use them, but from my knowledge, they're the best. But they are pricey though. They are pricey. It's now a good time to get into the business financing a truck with how the market is going right now. I think right now, if you got the money and the capital or the credit, I think you can find a fair price truck. All right. I would recommend buying a truck if you have intentions on seriously being into this business. If you're uncertain and you just want to test it out, you don't know, you just want to test it out, then I mean, I would normally say don't buy a truck. I would say rent a truck and see how you like the business. But right now, rental trucks are, they're pricey. But then again, you can always sell the truck. The unfortunate thing right now is if you buy a truck now, the prices may continue to drop. All right. So is it a good time to get into the business? I mean, you can always get into the business. The business isn't going anywhere as long as you enter the business doing the right research with the right research. And at a time like now, I say enter the business exercising caution. As long as you enter exercising caution, I think you should be okay. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't come in with too high of an overhead, because like I always preach, the margins in this industry are very small. So as long as you come in with a very low overhead, as low as you can get it, then I think, and you run the right lane and you really work it, then yeah, you can make money. Can I have a box truck under my husband's name for the LLC, Authority, MC, BOC3, and everything else under my name, and I'm the driver? Will I be able to pick up contracts if I'm not the truck owner? Can I have a box truck under my business, under my husband's name? So you want to buy the box truck as an individual, but the LLC, Authority, MC, BOC3, and everything else is under my name, and I'm the driver. So if the business is yours, the LLC and everything, you apply for all that stuff, you're the driver, which means you're listed on the insurance, but you want your husband to buy the truck under his personal name. Is that what you're saying? Because then my counter question to you is, if you have your LLC and you're the driver, why doesn't the business buy the truck? And because the business is going to be newly established, someone is going to have to co-sign for it, and then you can just have him co-sign. I would personally purchase the vehicle under the business. They're going to make you somebody's going to have to personally guarantee it, and then you can probably have him guarantee it. If you guys are really married, then what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours. So I don't think that would be a problem, but I definitely would buy the truck under the business and then one of you guys do the co-sign. I wouldn't buy it individually. What's going on? Hello, you gotta turn your mic on. All right, just checking in, sir. I've seen a lot of good content from you. You've been giving up real game. Appreciate it, Joe. Thanks for checking in. Where you checking in from? Let me know where you checking in from, Joe. On the phone calling corporate is wow. Hey man. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm being honest, man, I'm being honest with people. I ain't capping. Man, get on phone call corporate, man. Tell them the Wall Street Journal and put their business out in the street. I've been said it. I've been said. I swear to you. I promise you. I wish I would have known. Uh, uh, uh. The wall. I wish I would have known Congress had already reached out to these rental companies with this. I swear to you. You already know I would have put that info in the video. But man, just let you, I be knowing what I'm talking about. I know that is not right, y'all. It's listen. It's only certain. It's only I know in moving, there's tariffs. Like I can jack the price up, but I can't jack it up too much. It's tariffs, federal tariffs. It's certain things in business you can do, and it's certain things you can't do. Not everybody knows this. Obviously, the more you're in business, the longer you're in business, you become seasoned. It's things that you may know. That's why, you know, I guess that's why I've seen some success in a short amount of time that I've been on YouTube 4 months is because I I get a lot of free game and I know business. I've been in business 13 years. You know what I'm saying? But you know these things in business because you go through trials and tribulations over the years. You know what I'm saying? And you know these things. You research things. You go through things. You teach yourself. I know this. That's why I can confidently put a video out and say it. There's certain things I'm not going to say in the video because I don't want the backlash to come against me. Not because I'm about being wrong. I know I'm not wrong. It's because I don't want to get sued. You know what I'm saying? But now since it's out there, I can say it. You know, Congress, two representatives from Congress sent a letter to these rental truck companies for possible predatory business practices. So man, here's the free game for y'all that's in these high rentals. Just further lean on the rental truck. I've been telling y'all to lean on them. I've been telling y'all for weeks, lean on them. For those of you that don't know what lean is, apply pressure. I gotta remember, not everybody is from a big city. You know what I'm saying? It's people from middle rural America, they don't know a lot of these slang terms. Lean on them, apply pressure. Apply pressure, lean on them. Lean on them. You know what I'm saying? You got every right to lean on, especially if you've been renting one of these trucks for 2, 3, 4 months at $1,500 a week. Or like what's my buddy name up here? But my buddy up here? Brian, he been paying $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month. And that's just for the truck. That's not including the miles. So, you know, do you think a reefer would be better than a dry truck being more essential? I mean, a reefer truck is going to give you more options because you can move refrigerated. You know what I'm saying? But with the reefer truck also brings more responsibility. You know, and that reefer truck, you gotta be very careful because you gotta remember to set that temperature. You don't set that temperature like if you carrying some shrimp or something like that, and you forget to set that temperature. Now you got a whole load of shrimp that's ruined, and guess who they're gonna charge for that? It's gonna be you, and that's gonna be on your conscience. Like if you don't say nothing now, look how many people are gonna get sick. So you got to be very, 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 very careful when you run a reefer because you got one more thing that you got to worry about, and it happens. People forget to set that temperature. That's why when you work for these truck companies, they have to call that in. They have to check that when they hook up. They got to call. It's called a reefer briefing. It's called a reefer briefing. They have to call in. Hey, the temperature is set. They want to set at 10 degrees. It's set at 10 degrees. It's currently running at 12 degrees. It's full. You got to fill it up so it can run and things of that nature. See, now that's free game. That's free game. So when you run a reefer, you got more responsibility. because you got to remember to set those temperatures based on what you're carrying. So me personally, I've never run reefer. I wouldn't buy a reefer, but you can make more money because it opens you up to a whole nother lane, which opens you up to more opportunity to make, more money. If you need a 26-foot box truck to rent, you better reserve them now before October. FedEx and the post office rent out all the box trucks. And you know what, Joe, you're right, but guess what? They ain't got to worry about that because you got to remember the rental truck companies already have theirs on reserve. They not going to rent them out. They already got them put to the side. So them trucks is on reserve. Them trucks is already, they actually already picking them up. Mr. Love 85, 560 a week, 16 cent a mile. If that's for a 26-footer, then you won. You that's the best rate I've seen somebody post today. So right now you the winner. You the winner. Will a 20-foot box truck work for box trucking? Yeah, it'll work. It may limit you to what you can pick up depending on what lane. If you're looking to let's say do final mile, you can get some contracts with a 20-footer. If you want to start a moving company, you definitely can move up to a 3-bedroom with a 20-footer. Now running final mile is going to further limit you because Amazon wants a 26. You can sneak a 24 in. I doubt if you can sneak a 20. Middle mile, you're limiting your space. There are cargo van routes. There are 16-foot routes. But that extra 6 feet will help you in the long run. But you definitely can pick up some loads with a 20-foot truck. How do I get a contract to make mail runs? Example, like the post office. Is it through a logistics company or FedEx or post office, or do you find info on Craigslist? All right, so I know with the post office, Amazon, their personal stuff that they run through the post. Now, if you're talking about running directly for a post office, that's a federal contract, and the contracts, the companies that I know that run for the postal service, OTR, is the big boys. And I mean, for obvious reasons, you're talking about tons and tons and tons of volume of mail. So you have to have resources in every single, spread out throughout the country to not to secure, but to accommodate the U.S. Postal Service. You gotta be one. The companies that I know last year before that, I know they signed on XPO. And for those of you know, XPO is the third largest trucking company in the country. So, it's FedEx, it's UPS, FedEx, then XPO. So in order to, accommodate the postal service, you gotta be one of the big boys. I don't know if they subcontract the big boys. They probably do subcontract with owner operators, but you definitely, if you were to get one, you definitely have to go through one of the big boys. I know XPO is one of the contractors for the U.S. Postal Service, so you might want to check it out with them. But I think it's going to be a 53-footer though, Joe. $2K for a rental could be a monthly truck note to purchase a box truck, right? Yeah, I got a guy that said he was paying $2K a week. So, depending on the box truck, I did a consultation with someone the other day. He's paying like $1,700. I've only purchased 2 new trucks in my career. Every other truck I purchased was used. But when I did purchase a new truck, you're talking about 2014, my note was $666 a month. So it all depends on how much you're paying for the truck. If you go out and you buy a $70,000 26-footer, then yeah, you're gonna be paying probably more than $2K. If you buy a $40,000 26-foot truck, you probably be paying like right around $1,000 a month. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on your credit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean 2K for to rent a week is a lot. And but 2K for a truck note to me is too much. I wouldn't pay 2K for a 26-footer. It'd be less than that. I'd be looking for a truck. If I was paying a note, I'd be looking at right around for a note. The amount of truck I would buy probably around $1,000, no more than 1,200. And the reason why is because I understand overhead. I understand unforeseen situations in this industry, in this business. So I mean, if you watch my videos, I break numbers down for you, and I reiterate things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's a reason why. You know what I'm saying? 13 years, I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? So I, I further reiterate, over here, you got to keep it as low as possible. I had one, before I bought my first truck, I had already bought four trucks, used trucks, before I bought my first new truck. And the reason why I bought my first new truck is because I needed something reliable to go over the road, right? I didn't trust the pre-driven trucks that I had bought. I wanted something new and reliable, but I was in a space where, I could go out and buy that new truck. It had a purpose. Obviously trucks were a lot cheaper then, but me personally, 2K for a 26-foot box truck a month, that's kind of still on the high end for financing. For me personally, but to each his own. I would be looking for a truck right in around, I wouldn't go no higher than 40 for my first truck. Me personally, but to each his own. What is your opinion on the strategy of using dispatchers and brokers in addition? I thought I answered this. In addition to doing Amazon Relay independently. Oh, he switched it up. What is your opinion on the strategy of using dispatchers and brokers in addition to doing Amazon Relay independently to help with dead drives back? I hear about. All right, so if you mean running Amazon Relay and then using brokers to get you back home, I mean, if you feel like you need a broker and it's conducive to what you're doing as far as finding you a load, then I say yeah, but then you have to understand that that broker fee, that dispatcher fee, that's coming out of your overhead. That may be 20%, 10% coming out of your overhead, or added onto your overhead. I'm sorry, added onto your overhead. So, I mean, if you're good at finding loads on your own and planning and mapping yourself out, then I say wherever you can save money, save it. But if you just not good at it, you don't have the time, or you don't want to do it, or whatever reason that you feel like you need a dispatcher, then by all means. But just remember that that's more money you're putting onto your overhead, which is decreasing, further decreasing your margins. You know what I'm saying? So I that's most of those Amazon runs is only going to be one way. I hear, a lot of people tell me it's hard for them to find stuff coming back. So if you can plan your days, then I think you can probably get around it, the dispatcher and the broker. You can just go on a load board and map yourself and pick and do everything on your own. And me personally, I would try to save as much money as possible, especially if you're if you're in a rental. Question: if you get the rental insurance for the truck you rent, don't you still have to put it on your business insurance policy? My agent told me I had to report it on my insurance always. I never. So you're saying if you get the rental insurance for the truck you rent, don't you still have to put it on your business insurance policy? Whenever I rented a truck, I never told my insurance. And yes, I had a truck that came out of an alley, and there was a car parked to the edge of the alley, and he couldn't make the right turn. He should have just kept going straight to the next alley and tried, but he still tried to make that right turn. So the butt of the car was like right here. This is the butt of the car. So when he turned out, and it was, obviously was cars on this side of the street, he couldn't make that turn, and he sideswiped this car, and he didn't say nothing. But somebody saw it. They called the office. I ended up firing the guy, obviously. But the point of the story is that was an accident I had, and I just told the insurance, paid the deductible, and that was it. I mean, if the insurance, if your broker and your insurance don't know, how are they gonna know? Because if something happens, you're dealing directly with the insurance of the rental company. So my broker never told me that. I mean, I'm gonna ask him. I'll ask him the next time I talk to him, but it's not something that I thought I even needed to speak to my broker about in all these years. So, but I'll ask him next time I talk, just for I can know. But I've never told my broker when we rent trucks that we pay for the insurance through the insurance company. Now they're asking for auto and workman comp and can't find no insurance to give me cheap quote. Any suggestion on insurance? Who's asking for auto and workman's comp? I thought everybody asked for auto. Who's asking for it? What account or what are you trying to run? What is a fair mileage on a used truck? 26 footers. Any truck I buy, I try to keep it under 250,000 miles. So 250 miles, 250,000 miles. 250,000 miles. I try to find something under 250. Under 250. Yeah, that's crazy. Trucking with Joker. If you and your husband already have the truck, then he can just lease the truck onto your company. Okay, some side conversation. Houston, Texas in the building every Tuesday. Big Zoe, thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. Hit that like button when you guys come in the room for me. Please hit that like button and let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me see. Have you ever seen someone get a truck off a small business grant? Me personally, no. Nah. Nope. 400 a week plus 15 cents a mile for a truck, but it's been since January. That's a good rate. You got 4 trucks at $400 a truck. That's 1,600 you paying a week for 4 trucks, and there's people out here paying 1,600 and more for 1 truck. So far, you're a winner for this week as far as rates. It was somebody a few minutes ago, but you in the lead now. It was Mr. Love, but now Envy is in the lead. 436 with LG. Mr. Love, where are you located with that rate? I seen a dude with a 16-foot going stupid with the lows, but his key was partials. Yeah, I mean, partials. I mean, pretty much, shoot. That's the only thing you can do is 16-footer. I don't think you really can take a full load. You know what I'm saying? Only thing you can really run is partials. You know, but I'm assuming whoever this guy is, he was working his butt off. 26 foot, 599 weekly, 13 cents a mile. More, that's a good rate. So there's some people out there that got some good rates. So for everybody that's in these bad rates, that's been posting these rates after I did my rental truck gouge spiel, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? You got to lean on these companies for better rates. Call them, man. Just don't sit up here and continue to let these people vic you and take money and because here's the thing, there's got to be some consistency. Like you got people that are paying 4 or 5 times less than what you're paying. Now I understand it. There's going to be people that have been long-term renters. Obviously, if in normal situations, if I go into enterprise, a person who's been renting since 2010 versus a person who's new to the game, on normal circumstances, yes, I'm probably going to get a cheaper rate. It may be by $50, it may be by $75 a week. It's not going to be by much. But you got people that saying they're paying 400, 436, 599, and then you got somebody who's saying he's paying 2,000. There's no consistency. There's no consistency there. See that gap? The gap is out of frame. Now that's why it's considered predatory. And it's considered, I'm calling it gouging, predatory. There's got to be some consistency. Now, Mark comes in, Mark, 13-year renter, we're going to give Mark the truck for $400 a week, 10 cents a mile, 1,000 miles. New person come in, they may say $475. That's understandable. But $599, $400, and $1,800 or $2,000, nah. So that further proves my point, guys. Like, y'all gotta lean on these rental truck companies. I had a budget for $595, 21 cents a mile, but it was raggedy. The enterprise I have is a 2023 $650 per week, 19 cents. Now remember, I said $650 was my max. I would suggest you pay, and as long as it was in the teens. So she's at, like, right here, that's the max I said, and she's at the max on the set. So that's good to go in my book. That's good to go. And she got a brand new truck. And as long as you don't got no stipulations, MP, on that truck, because I know some of these companies on their new trucks, they really putting stipulations because they're not trying to stack the miles up on them like that, because they're trying to preserve them. As long as you ain't got no stipulations, then you in the game. I met a guy with a post office contract, had 102 box trucks. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, 102 trucks, that's still considered a small company on the grand scheme of things when you're dealing with certain contracts. But a person with 102 trucks, they can easily get a government contract on a regional level, maybe not on a national level, but on a regional level. Like, I know a company here that has 95 trucks and they have a big contract, but it's on a regional level. You know what I'm saying? Because on the grand scheme of things, that's still considered a small company when you measure them up to like a XPO or Schneider or JB Hunt. But yeah, if just to go back to the question Joe had earlier, yeah, Joe, I think for that mail contract, you definitely can get it, but it's got to go through a logistics company. Okay, thanks. Didn't think about buying a truck under my LLC because it's a new company. I've had my CDLA license for 3 years, but only worked as a yard jockey and don't know anything about box trucks. Yeah, I mean, even though it's new, you can still buy it. The only thing they're gonna make you do is guarantee it. They're gonna make you guarantee it. So if you and your husband are married, then you're married. So it doesn't matter who's is he the principal on the LLC, or are you it's you, so it's your LLC, so you are. So yeah, I would buy it under the business, and then I would just co-sign for it. You're gonna have to co-sign anyway. Yeah, but no problem though. Mark, you skipped the first part of my question. All right, let me go back up. Now they're asking for auto and workman's comp. I know, but who's asking for auto and workman's comp? That's what I'm asking you. Who's asking for it, Joe? I don't know. Just enter your whole question. You said I skipped it, but you said, hold on, man. Let me go back up. This was the last thing you said. Now they asking. Well, hold on. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it was something before that. Hold on. I don't see it. Can you retype it? Because there's a lot of stuff in here keeps pushing it down. All right, I got a super chat. Envy sending love. Charlotte finally bought my first 2002, 300,000 miles. Plus the rentals. Are you familiar with medical sprinters? That's my next purchase plan. Yeah, I hear it's a lot of money in it. I haven't ran anything. I've done some medical contractor work, but not for, usually they'll call. I got a and there's another thing. Here goes some sauce too for like last mile, even middle mile. When working on these docks and you getting to know the people who work, like the operations managers. They leave companies and they go to new companies, and when you build a rapport with them and a good relationship, they'll call you directly when they go to the new company and offer you, runs or lows or whatever. So the only thing I've done for medical companies are medical bids. So a lot of the carriers that run for medical companies that got the vans and the cars and stuff like that, a lot of those hospital bids, they can't fit. One, they heavy, and it requires two people. So um one of the operation managers used to work at Dynamics. She was a sister. She was like the only sister in there. Me and her got cool, and when she went to the medical company, she used to send my company all the work for the beds. But as far as the medical delivery business, I heard it's a good business. I heard it's a really good business, actually. I haven't heard anything bad about it. I think entering it, obviously, your cost of entry is going to be a lot lower than trucking, obviously, because you're entering it with a van. So I say go for it. I haven't heard any bad things about it. I say go for it. Let me know how it goes when you get it started. But I appreciate the super chat. Congratulations on your first truck. And man, may you make plenty, plenty, plenty money. Let me go back to some. Last mile contract is asking for insurance requirement that I having a hard time to get. I had 1 million liability, 2 million aggregate, 100 cargo. All right. Now they're asking for auto and workman's comp and can't find no insurance to give me cheap quote. All right. So let's go back. You got 1 million liability, 2 million aggregate. Right. You gotta have auto. You can't run final mile. You run in a truck. You gotta have commercial auto. So you got to get commercial auto. You got to have commercial auto. You got to have general liability, and you got to have cargo. You need $1 million in commercial auto. Workers' comp. Some accounts are going to ask it, especially if it's a requirement in your state. You're going to have to get it. You're going to have to get it. Get with your broker. If you have a broker, get with your broker and tell him he needs to add. I don't know why you. How do you got GL and cargo but no commercial auto? You got to get commercial auto if you're running. The truck has to be covered, and when the truck is operational, the person who's operating the truck has to be covered as well. You got to have commercial auto. So that's something you just got to have. And workers' comp, if the account is requiring it, then I think you need to get a broker, man. You need to get a broker. So you need to reach out to a commercial insurance broker and tell them to give you a bundle and put you on the market, shop you on the market for the best rate. That workers' comp though, I ain't finna hold you. That workers' comp that workers' comp ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. So I'm just letting you know now before you find a broker and they even shop you. So just mentally get prepared. Workers' comp ain't no joke. So just be prepared. Letting you know. Keep blessing and giving back to the gang, King. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for checking in. Let me know where you guys checking in from as you come in. And do me a favor if you can, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. How can I get in this? How can you get in the box truck game? Or are you talking about get on the live? You want to come on the live? If you want to come on the live, there go the link. If you want to get in the box truck game, you can watch some of my videos. And I have a very, very, very inexpensive course that's $24.95 on my website that'll give you all the basic fundamentals. And it's cheap. It's affordable. I'm not here to break nobody's pockets. That's why it's so cheap. It's economical. All right. It's $24.95. And it's going to basically tell you everything that Google tells you. So to even further let you know, it's not really no big deal to me. You can really just Google it and save $24.95. But if you want everything bundled up so you don't have to go looking for it, then you can go on my website, and it's called How to Start a Box Truck Business 24.95. It's very basic. It's a less than an hour course, and it has a quiz at the end of it. It's just basically gonna give you the basic steps, and it's gonna tell you what you need to do, where you need to go. So and yeah, that's that. How long are the final mile contracts usually? Final mile contracts are as long as you and the company are cool, or if the company loses. So sometimes you can get a final mile contract. And hey, Envy, I see you popped into the green room. Well, you popped out. I was gonna pull you on. All right. If you want to come back, there go the link. Just hit it, and then I'll pull you up. Envy. So basically, as long as you and as long as you and the final mile company are in good standings, then the contract will will go on. Um, Now, like I said in the video, you are to the final mile contract as to what they are to the retailer. So the final mile logistics company that you running, they can lose the contract, and if they lose it, let's say like how I had IKEA through Dynamics. Dynamics lost IKEA to Urban Express. So I lost it because they lost it because I'm running through them. So then I had to go apply Urban Express. Then guess what? XPO bought Urban Express. The only thing was that when XPO bought them, I didn't have to reapply. I fell under that umbrella because they bought them, but then the reason I ended up leaving is because they added a $3 million umbrella, and my broker was like, man, is it really this account really worth you paying for $3 million more insurance just for this one account? And I said, no, it's not. So I walked away from it. So you can keep an account as long as they keep the account from the retailer, and as long as you and the logistics company are on good standings. So as long as you guys are on good standing and you guys are rocking and they keep the account, it can go as long as you are them wanted to go. Hello, 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 hello.
Hey, Mark.
What's going on?
Hey, appreciate your time, man.
No problem.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. I didn't know I was going to be on here, but it's all right.
Oh, you didn't know you pressed the button?
No, that's cool. No, I did. I didn't know what it was for. I just clicked
Oh,
it, but that's okay. Appreciate your time. I got a
uh-huh.
quick question for you because
Sure.
I feel like, um, the business is kind of like at a fork in the road. And similar to a lot of people, I worked with XPO,
Mhm.
trying to get this final mile. I got a bunch of people calling me for jobs on Indeed, but my insurance is having a problem with their underwriter getting that insurance set up
Mhm.
for that liability insurance. Doing the same thing with UST, so I got like a little hub in Greensboro, but it's really, we're just waiting on the insurance, so it's kind of, taking up a lot of time. Meanwhile,
Okay.
UST is going to give us the trucks. We just need to bring the employees. XPO, we got to have our own trucks. So right
Okay.
now, I kind of have these trucks kind of just sitting,
Okay.
doing some spot loads. But really, I'll be honest, I just want a contract. So if anybody out here has a contract, I'll pay them for the contract. Want to get our drivers moving,
How
because
many trucks you got?
I'm the one that had just bought that
Oh
2002,
yeah.
and I got the four rentals.
Okay. So they're all sitting.
No, no, three of them are OTR.
Okay.
I got some really good deals going from East Coast to West Coast.
Okay.
But all those for $2.60. But all those drivers are coming back,
Okay.
and when they come back, it's just chasing spot loads. And
Yeah.
my best time in the business is when we had contracts.
Okay.
They were short, but it's real cool for like 6 weeks. These guys just kind of clock in, do their work, and I just need to make sure they show up as opposed to chasing a load, confirming rate cons, filling
Mhm.
out carrier packages.
So you want to convert? You want to transition over to final mile? Is what you're saying?
I want to put half the team on final mile, but still, I wouldn't mind having two where I'm flexible, with the contracts.
Hmm.
You know,
And you said you're having an issue with the general liability insurance?
Yeah, I'm with Progressive, and
Oh man.
they seem to be. I don't know. It's been hung up with an underwriter for about 4 weeks now.
Well, man, I don't know how long you've been subscribed, but everybody knows how I feel about Progressive. So,
Yeah, I've seen the
so,
videos.
so, I mean, I would. So you don't have a broker; you're dealing directly with Progressive.
Well,
It's
I have a guy, so I'm not calling a 1-800 number.
okay.
Yeah,
Is it a guy with Progressive, like an agent?
he's a broker. Progressive is his main thing, but I think he can pull different options. So
You
the
need you need to lean on him.
Yeah,
You need
yeah,
to
no, trust me.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call his name out here, but
Oh, okay.
we're having meetings like every other week, and he's like, yeah, a couple more days, a couple more days, you know. Um, so I think he's like a progressive star, but when it's time to do this, um, white glove final mile thing, it might not be his thing. That's what
Yeah,
I
see,
thought.
because here's the thing: when you're doing white glove final mile, it's like I say, liability is goes through the roof.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So but if you said 3-4 weeks, like I don't. What's going to happen when you got to go do a delivery and they're going to want you to add somebody to the one of the management companies going to request to be added to the policy as
Mm,
additionally insured to make the delivery.
yeah.
Like I'm hitting my broker every week, multiple times. Look, we got a delivery. The building said we can't get in Friday because they want to be added to the policy for additionally insured. I gotta send it to him. I gotta send him the verbiage. He has to forward it to the insurance company. Insurance company has to forward it back. So it has to be done like that because
Hmm.
so if he's not, the general liability is very important.
Yeah,
That
I'll look
turnaround
because
time.
I know whenever we need to add the whenever we do the spot loads,
Hmm.
we get the stuff like within 4 or 5 minutes.
Hmm.
He updates that super fast. But this XPO final mile white glove thing,
Hey, I just said about XPO. I walked away from XPO with IKEA because they
mm,
wanted to add a $3 million umbrella, and I didn't want to pay it. It wasn't worth it to me.
mm,
Even my broker said,
don't
they
do it.
they wanted a $3 million umbrella. Have you ever had to get an umbrella policy before? Are you familiar with an umbrella?
Is that a full covers everything?
So I had a million GL, a million commercial auto,
Uh-huh.
100,000 cargo, right? Um, XPO wanted a $3 million umbrella on top of the $1 million general liability.
As a backup, that's like a backup.
Yes, $3 million
Oh wow,
umbrella on top of that, an umbrella covering that.
wow.
Yes, and that would it added so much to my monthly insurance bill. My broker before he said, "Hey, Mark, dude, you
You really want to
is
do it?
this account really worth it to you? Because man,
Yeah.
it's going to go up." And I'm looking, I'm thinking, and it's just further example. Like I'm telling people with the rentals, that's an account I walked away 3 trucks a day,
Uh,
3 trucks.
yeah.
I walked away from it because I walked away from that money because it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense, So I know how XPO is. I've spoke on XPO before. I've spoke on XPO early in this. I said they're sticklers. They're
Mm,
sticklers out of all
okay.
the final mile logistics companies I've dealt with. XPO has been the toughest.
Well, I still got UST waiting for me.
And
So
UST, you running with their trucks, so I would go that route.
yeah. That's yeah. Okay, I appreciate it. Let me ask you one more question. So the trucks again. I got a crew that I want them to work on Monday through Friday, and then I want another crew to do the weekend
Hmm.
because for me, the people don't have to work 24/7, but the trucks got to move 24/7.
Hmm.
You know, um, adding all these people to insurance, which I haven't done yet.
Hmm.
What does that look like? Is if everybody has clean records, are we looking at like a ridiculously high insurance with all these
Well,
additional?
each person you add, the rate is going to go up. Obviously, the more drivers you add, but now when the
Oh,
drivers have points on their MVR, they speeding and all that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
then that's obviously going to make it go up even more. So
Okay.
yeah, but all your drivers got to be on your
Yeah.
your insurance. If they're driving, they got to be on it. If you're not driving, then you can take yourself off. But whoever's driving, they need to be on it.
Even if it's just a weekend thing. Yeah.
They
Okay.
drive, they got to be on it, because what happened is it'll be that
Yep.
unforeseen situation,
Yep.
and then they're not going to cover it, and then on top of that, they're going to drop you, because
Yeah.
now you become too much of a risk because you're doing sneaky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they report it, and the other insurance companies know about it too, right?
Right. So,
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank
all
you for
right,
your
man.
time.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat.
All right.
All right. All right. Let me get back to the Q&A. All right, where did we leave off at? All right, so I answered DeMarco. Would you buy a truck or cargo van that has a salvage title? I'm about to buy. Me personally, it depends. It depends on a few things. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility I would, but it depends. Last mile contract is asking for insurance requirement that I having hard time to get. I had 1 million liability, 2 million area, 100 cargo. Hey, son, you got to get commercial auto. You can't have a last mile or a middle mile or anything. If you got a truck, a commercial truck that's running commercially, if you got a vehicle, period, you got to have auto insurance. So in this case, you got to have commercial auto insurance. You got to have $1 million commercial auto policy. You got the general liability, you got the cargo, but you got to get commercial auto. You have to get it. No account is going to give you anything. Technically, you're not supposed to even. You got to have it anyway. So, you got to get it. You got to get it, unless you're asking the question not right. But I pinned the tag. I pinned the link. You can come on and ask. I don't know if you're typing it right, but I pinned the link. You can come on like MV just did and ask. Maybe I'm not reading it right. I don't know. What's the most you would be willing to pay for insurance? That's question. It depends. It varies. It varies on how many trucks you have, how many drivers you have. So that's not a question I could just ask. For one truck, let's say, I can ask maybe for one truck, me driving it, 26 footer, let's say 26 footer that's, I don't know, maybe 8 years old, me, 42-year-old guy, $500, $500, because I know what's out there. I know what I pay with 3 trucks, 4 trucks, 5 trucks. I know what I pay with 15 trucks. So at my peak, I had 15 trucks. So, when I hear people saying they paying $2,200 and all that stuff, I know, no, I'm not paying that. I got a clean record. I'm older. My trucks are parked private. I know, no. So that's the most I would pay if I had one truck. Now I can't answer, other than that, because obviously every situation is different. Where you live, how many trucks you got, who's listed, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But I know how much I paid. That's why I'm thinking, like, when I bought my first truck back in the day, I'm trying to think. I think I was paying 700. I think back then, like 600 or 700. I was younger. So now I'm older, so let me see. What's the next question? Good night. Let's see. How much you think a down payment would be for a $37,000 box truck with decent credit? Me personally, I've never put nothing down. Every truck I bought it cash. The 2 new vehicles I bought, in my career, I didn't put anything down. My personal credit was good. The business credit, I had to guarantee it anyway, so I used my strong personal credit when I co-signed, and I didn't have to put anything down. To me, if you got money to put, if let me say it like this: if you don't have to put money down, then don't put money down. You know, keep your money as capital and let your money work for you. So if you got good credit, good personal credit, don't put no money down. I wouldn't put nothing down. So that's my answer. I don't put money down on nothing because your money can work for you. The last time I put money down was in 2013, and this was for a personal vehicle. And the sales guy was like, "Why are you putting so much money down?" Because see, me being from an urban environment and all that, just learning business. And that's why I'm saying, like, the person I am in 2022 is not the person I was back then. You know, the rappers, man, we own the cars, we don't lease and all that stuff. That's just a silly way of thinking. And I was guilty to thinking like that. I go in a dealership with 10,000 cash to buy a 750 series BMW, and he's like, "Why are you putting so much money down? You got decent credit." I'm like, "What you mean? Why am I putting so much money down?" He's like, "I'm saying, don't you want your money to work for you?" I'm looking at him like he crazy. And then as I got older, I realized what he was saying was right. So not only would it then when I went back again, because I got out of that one and got a new one 2 years later, not only did I not put money down, I leased it under the business. So you don't have to put money down. You know what I'm saying? If you got decent personal credit and you gotta guarantee it for the business, keep your money, let your money work for you. The business is gonna pay the note on the truck. Let the business pay the note. Keep your money. I have contracts with Macy's looking for trucks. I got you, son, but you gotta get the commercial auto. I know you reached out to me about the account, but you gotta let me know what size trucks they need. What size trucks do they need? Progressive is very high. Yes, indeed, it is. Cannot wait to speak to you about trucking, Jay Vaughn. Okay, yeah, just set up go to the website and um I don't know if you have or if you haven't, but if you have, then look forward to speaking with you. If you haven't, just go to the website. Where's the website? Website. How do I do this? All right, give me a second, guys. I'm trying. There's the website. Bam. www.boxtruckcourses.com and set it up. If you have set it up, then I look forward to speaking with you as well. Let me see here. Let's do that. All right, let me go back here. I have a final mile opportunity and can help that caller with moving his trucks and final mile. I have mattress and furniture contracts in multiple states. Yeah, Joe is the man. MV, you want to holler at Joe? Me and Joe have had some conversations before. So Joe is the man. You want to holler at Joe? Mark, the guy who called can contact me. I need as many trucks from Macy's account. I got you. I just need to know. You're not telling me what size trucks. All right, guys, let me know where you're checking in from. Hit that like button for me. Drop your questions in the chat, and I'm going through them one at a time. Unless it's a super chat, then you bump the line. Let's see. I'm paying $13.50. Must be the age. How old are you? Got to be the age. Maybe the age and your years in business. Maybe what's on your MVR. Maybe where you're located. Maybe who the insurance company is. It's a lot of different factors that determine, your insurance costs. Moses just wanted to drop some info. Got 2 corporate rental accounts set up with budget and rider. Got them for $600 a week. First with 18 cent a mile, and the other one 13 cent, but no trucks available. So they gave you a rate, but they don't have no trucks. Well, those are good rates compared to some of the rates people have been telling me that they've been paying. But unfortunately, like you said, there's no trucks. So yeah, it sucks. Trucks being available. I know you're asking him, but that goes back to what I was talking about in the video about the global chip shortage. Manufacturing is slow and it's down because the chips. So I don't think the rental truck companies know. Um, you know, and as long as the demand is high, and the supply is low due to the chip shortage, who knows? Macy needs 26-foot box trucks, 850 to 900 a day. How many stops? You're 33, 1 year in business. Yep. So there you go. You haven't built up a strong enough rapport with them yet. So the more years you're in business, you get those discounts. You're still fairly young. Um, you're in Atlanta. Well, I don't know where you're at, but yeah. So I don't know where you park the truck, but your age and your years in business is two key factors right there. For that reason, I decided to purchase one instead, paying $1,400 a month for a 26-footer with a lift gate, cheaper. That's good. Way to go! Congratulations. That was smart. That was smart. Out west, 290. I'm from out west too. Well, first half of my childhood was out from out west, Chicago Avenue and LeClaire. Then we moved to the southeast side of Chicago. So it was like we moved from bad to bad. All right. Any more questions? What time is it? 9:30. Any more questions? Q&A. Not, then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Appreciate your content. Appreciate you for checking in. Any more? What's the most you can net? It depends. That's a question. It can depend on what you're doing. You doing middle mile? You doing final mile? What are you doing? What are you doing? It all depends. I can tell you what I can tell you is that margins are small. And you need to always remember to keep your overhead and try to keep your overhead and do things to get your overhead as low as possible. And then that'll increase your net. You know what I'm saying? I did a video about final mile, and that was just a rough example, but I may do one about middle mile, but middle mile is kind of different because it's kind of hard because you got stuff all over the place. You got people running cross country, halfway cross country, local. So it's kind of, you got one guy heavy on the gas, one guy like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard, but for me to gauge that. But what I can tell you is that, if you work on decreasing your overhead, that will increase your margin. Oh, with final mile, it depends on the contract. I've always operated on 20%, which is high. Rule of thumb in trucking, contrary to what people have told me, that other people have told them, is that trucking, the margin, the national average for trucking is 6%. 6%. And that's considered good. All right. If you want to increase your margins, you have to decrease your overhead. And that could be doing things, simple, small things like paying attention to your MPG, finding that sweet spot when you're driving over the road that increases your miles per gallon. Um, if you are a OTR trucker, getting an account with Red Roof Inn, you know what I'm saying, or whatever hotel, one of those highway hotels, getting an account with them so you can get the discount. You're not saving much, but every little bit adds up. Um, Getting one of those traveling J pilot cards and getting those points. Um, um, if you're in a position where you can wash your own truck, wash your own truck. Like, it's plenty of ways you can increase your margin by decreasing your overhead. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that everybody is different. So now for final mile, like I said, I've always operated on 20%. So I understand that paying your guys good is the key to keeping guys and having a successful business and running long term, because without the guys, you can't really run. And it's a tough business. It's a tough industry. It's very taxing on the body. So I don't mind, if it's $1,000 a day average contract. I did the numbers the other day in that video, but that I used a rental truck, obviously, as an example. If you own your truck, you're gonna make more. So I don't mind operating on a 20. I'm making like 40% on a day to day, you know what I'm saying? But over time, when you add in those unforeseen situations and things of that nature, that brings that overall margin down. But 20%, if you can get to 20% final mile, then you think you're doing great. But that's because I pay my guys really well. There's a lot of people that don't pay well. They don't pay well. I know people that pay their driver $175 a day, $150 a day doing final mile. So I understand that it's not conducive to the business to not pay really well, because you're gonna have people quitting on you. I give a reason, I give motivation for people to come to work. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. So if you got a truck, and let's say you're not on a truck and you averaging $1,000 a day, and after everything is paid for that day, if you can walk away with anywhere from $200 to $400, you're doing good, because you're doing that 5, 6, 7 days a week. Thanks for all the info. Greatly appreciate it, man. Thanks for checking in, man. I appreciate you checking in and joining us tonight. Can I leave my contact information on getting people signed up? I pay $900 minimum for final mile. Also, can you and I speak about helping others getting paid more next week? Yeah, Joe, you wanna come on the show and talk about it, or you want to speak privately? Let me know. Macy's needs 26 for box truck. I got you. I got your info. I'm gonna reach out to you. As a new person to the business, would it be a good time to buy? 48 years old. I would definitely buy versus leasing. I mean, versus renting. And if you're planning to really be in it seriously, then yeah, go for it. I say if you're just testing the waters, I would, in normal circumstances, I would say rent and make sure that this is for you. Take a few loads or whatever you need to do to really get a grasp and make sure it's for you. But if you know that you're in it all the way, then right now I think it would probably be better if you just came in the game as and purchased a truck, a truck at a decent rate versus renting, unless you can find a rental truck at a decent rate. But it's hard to find a truck, and a lot of these truck rental companies are gouging. So buying a truck may be the best option. How does one get that Macy's contract and Walmart PO run? Well, the Macy's contract, you can get it through a logistics company. I know he's pitching it out in, some is pitching out in Ohio. As far as Walmart, there is no such thing as a well, there is a such thing as a Walmart account, but those Walmart accounts are mile are run through the big boys, JB Hunt, Schneider, and those guys. And then Walmart has a fleet of their own trucks as well. Walmart doesn't do like what you would consider like Amazon Relay and things of that nature. No, Walmart is a little bit more self-contained, and they deal with the big boys. Post office run, you're gonna have to get with another big boy. 9.5 times out of 10, you're gonna need a 53 footer. Makes sense. Thanks, bro. No problem. No problem. All right, man. It was a good show tonight, man. If there's no more questions, I'm gonna stay on as long as the questions is coming in. If not, then I'm gonna check out until next Tuesday. For sure. Thanks, bro. Much love. Appreciate it. No problem. Yep. So, man, every Tuesday, the Mentors Podcast, I come on and we talk about trucking. You know, I have my little topics I talk about, you know, and we just do Q&A, you know. A lot of people get helped out. And my whole thing is to just give true factual information based on experience, you know. And sometimes, like when I talk about the truck rental, and I know some people out there that are running these high trucks, and I'm not saying it to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm just being honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say, man, yeah, man, go get that money. How can you go get the money if you're paying $2,000 a week for a rental truck? It's just not, it's not right. Like, I'm not finna sit up here and and tell you something that I know I wouldn't do myself, man. So, you know, I know it's people watching that in these hot trucks and probably feel bad, but man, don't feel bad. Just, man, do what you need to do to get up out of it. Apply pressure, you know, apply pressure. And like I said earlier, I walked away from accounts before. You know, doesn't mean it wasn't another account waiting around the corner. You know, you got guys that are paying $400, $599, $650. You can pay those rates too. You just have to apply yourself. And if this company is not willing to do it, then you need to play ball with somebody else. They may not have a truck. You may have to take some time in between so you can get a truck. But I'm telling you, that $2,000 is people paying $1,500 less a week, $8,000 a month. You know, if you're paying $2K a week, that guy, he gone. Once he heard my spiel, he got the hell up out of here. He didn't even stick around. You see what I'm saying? He came in the door when I first went live. I'm telling people to check in. This dude, man, it's 2K too much. It's like he was waiting for me to come on today to ask me that. So, you know, I don't want nobody to feel like that. I don't want nobody to be out here paying $2K and $1,600. I'm gonna tell you the real. You know what I'm saying? That's that $1,500 you paying more, that $1,000 you're paying more than what you should be. That's your margin. That's the money that should be going in your pocket. So if he's paying $2,000, another person's paying $1,600. Let's use him for an example because he's the highest person today that said he's the highest rental, $2,000, right? And then you got people saying pay $400, $500, $650. Let's take $500. That $1,500 more than he's paying, that's his margin. That's part of his profit. And this is why people can't make money. I want to speak privately first. I really have something special going on and love to present after we speak. I know I just changed the game in Final Mile. You got Instagram, right? Just DM me. Oh no, you don't have Instagram. You got Facebook. All right, I'm gonna hit you on Facebook. I'm gonna hit you on Facebook. What city you in, Joe? So I can look for you in that city. Let me know what city you in, Joe, so I can hit you in that city. Would now be a good time to buy a truck and put a driver in it for semi-passive income. For middle mile or final, well, I guess middle mile since you said a driver. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can, as long like I said earlier, as long as you enter the game exercising caution, and you enter the game with the right frame of mind by doing the right and proper research and not entering the game too over leveraged, too much over here, then you'll make some passive income. I don't know what your number you're expecting for passive income to be, but what I can tell you is that it's like I tell everybody, it's a low margin business. And if you want to keep a driver in your seat, and another issue is drivers are hopping seats. It's just a lot of opportunities. In order to keep a driver in your seat, you're gonna have to pay them very handsomely, and you have to look at the bigger picture. That, if you're looking for this for residual income, then something is better than nothing. So I don't know what you're expecting, but something is better than nothing. Paying your driver very handsomely will keep that money coming in for you residual, on a residual basis, versus, you got a driver a month or 3 weeks, and then now the truck is sitting because he quit, because he bounced and went and hopped in somebody else's seat who was paying a little bit better than you. So as long as you keep that in mind, I think, yeah, you'll be fine. What's the website for coaching? Put it up. www.boxtruckcourses.com. www.boxtruckcourses.com. I'll type it right here too. www. So I go to the website. Man, I meant to use my sound effects earlier when people was giving me them high prices, man. Damn, I be forgetting, man. Use my damn sound effects. All right, Jeremiah. In today's game, how much money will it take to get up and running with a box truck? What are you trying to do? I mean, a box truck, let's say you want to buy a box truck. I say a decent box truck, I wouldn't pay no more than 40. All right, so you pay 40 for a box truck. You get all your, well, you're probably not going to pay 40 up and run. Let's say your startup cost. I'm doing some quick math in my head. Truck, regulation, fees, pallet jack. I'm assuming you running middle mile. And you can get up and running for less than $5,000. Less than $5,000. It don't cost that much to get into this game, especially if you rent. It don't cost that much. Now, I know some people saying they had to put deposits down and all this stuff on their own truck. Like, see, now that's a part of the game. See, so my startup cost may not match somebody else's. I'm looking at the game from an OG standpoint. Like, some of this new stuff that people telling me they done had to do to get rental trucks, put down payments, pay hold. They got to do a hold. Somebody said they pay $1,000 a week, and then they do a 1,800. They hold 1,800, and they pay. Like, see, I don't know nothing about none of that. There's some new pandemic stuff that I don't know nothing about. Like, so I'm giving you from an OG standpoint. I'm an OG. So if it's some new stuff, I don't know. From an OG standpoint, you should be able to get in for less than 5. You know what I'm saying? But and people telling me they had to do all type of stuff, man. So I don't. You can go rent a truck. You go rent a truck. You rent a truck 650. You put your 650 up. That's gonna carry you to the next week. You pay your miles. They charge you miles. They charge you for some miles up front. You pay for your MC and everything. Your BOC3, right? You go get you a pallet jack. I mean, it don't really cost that much. You go get your insurance. Your insurance might be, I don't know. It depends on how old you are. It depends on where you live. There's a bunch of different factors, but let's say we put you on the high end of the insurance. let's say we put you, and this is very high. Somebody told me it's paying 2,200. I'm gonna put you in, like, just for the sake of argument, let's say 1,500. 1,500, yeah, less than 5. All right, I'm gonna look for you, Joe. Is Amazon Relay booming in the Midwest Kenosha? No, somebody told me earlier that Amazon here in Chicago was slow. Actually, I seen it. I seen it in the comment section. Somebody, one of the subscribers that run Amazon said it's been slow. I've been hearing it's slow on the east. It's slow here from what I'm hearing. I mean, from what I've seen and heard, it's been slow. So Kenosha is the Kenosha Amazon Relay is that's the I know a lot of people that run back and forth from here to Kenosha. That's like I would have always thought Joliet would have the work, but it seemed like it's more loads going back and forth coming out of Kenosha, so but I hear it's slow right now. Currently it's slow, Jeremiah. So you got your truck, or are you looking to you said you looking to get into it, and how much money will it take to get up and running? Yeah, so yeah, right now it's slow, but it's gonna pick up for the holiday season. So probably like and right now this is like normally September is usually, okay, but I don't know. Well, I kind of know why it's slow right now, but it's gonna pick up for the holiday season, obviously. So the driver goes on the insurance. I rotate my helpers. You know what I'm saying? I rotate my helpers. I'm gonna tell you this too, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. In this business, you're gonna have to cut corners. The corners you cut depend on you, and the corners you cut, you have to be very strategic and very smart. All right. So in order to really make money in this business, there's gonna have to be some corners you're gonna have to cut. So I put my drivers on the insurance, obviously, because I have to put them on the insurance. Technically, I don't think you have to put your helpers on the insurance. Now, in the state of Illinois, you're supposed to have workers' comp, but it's not. It's not. I'm trying to use the right words here. It's not. Give me a second. Um, it's not required. You're supposed to have it, but it's not enforced. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks for being patient with me. It's not enforced. So unless a contract requires you have it, I don't carry it. That's another workaround. But you learn these tactics and things like that as you're in the game. You know what I'm saying? So in order to make money, now if I had workers comp for every single thing, you know what I'm saying? I would make no money. I'd be upside down because workers comp is very expensive, and I'm pretty sure without me explaining, you know why it's very expensive. So and Final Mile is a very liability driven business. Like I always say, as far as I always speak from a point of damage to people's property and like damage to the goods that are being delivered, appliances, furniture. But there's another critical factor of liability when you're doing final mile is injury. you know this stuff is some of this stuff is really really heavy. I had to jump on a truck was about 3 Saturdays, maybe 4 Saturdays ago, and I injured my lower back. Right, I had to. After a week, I thought it was just sore and was going to get better. After a week and a half, I couldn't take it no more. I had to go to urgent care. I set a doctor's appointment, but they pushed me out like another week. I couldn't take it no more. I went to urgent care, and I had to take naproxen and Flexeril for a week. I injured my back, my lower back, and that's the worst part to injure because this guy, for some reason, he lived in a one-bedroom apartment, and it just happened to me to die. A day a guy calls off, I have to jump on a truck, and this guy lives on the third floor. And this dude had, I don't know, man, this dresser, his set, everything he ordered was heavy. And it was the worst obstacle to get this stuff in there. You know, it was so heavy and it was so tight coming up and around them stairs to the point where I couldn't keep there was no way to keep my back straight. I had to maneuver and twist and turn, and I injured my back. So, and this is why, you know what I'm saying? If this would have been a worker, and let's say he would have been somebody that was like, let's say the guy who sued me, you know, in that story, then I would have a workers' compensation claim. Or but let's say not having workers' compensation, he probably would try to pull it with me. But you know, I'm very selective on, since I'm not running at full scale like how I used to run, I'm selective who works for me. People who work for me now, they're not gonna pull that. So um yeah, so that answers your question. I gave you a little bit more sauce too on top of it. But final mile, you do want to pay your people good because it is a labor intensive business and you want to keep them coming to work. All right, next question. Peace King, getting in the game, would you buy from an auction or go worth a reputable company? Assume capital isn't an issue. If capital isn't an issue, I wouldn't go to an auction. I just go to Penske used truck sales and get something that's fleet maintained. Thing with the auction, unless you go into like the budget auction, you don't really know if it, well, you know it's fleet maintained because it's at the budget auction, but you don't know why. Okay, so when Penske puts a truck up for sale, they prep it for sale, right? Versus if you're putting stuff up for auction, you're not going to prep it for sale, right? You're just going to send it to the auction. You know, you're not going to spend the money prepping it for sale, right? Because it's going to the auction. So if I was coming in and capital wasn't an issue, I'd just go with the reputable company that's fleet maintained that I know prepped it for sale. I would go with Penske used truck sales. And that's what I would do. Amazon Relay requires workers' comp. Last time I checked, they require workers' comp. Now here's the sauce. If you are your own independent contractor, meaning you're doing Amazon Relay, and this is for anything, Amazon Relay, middle mile, final mile, if you're doing work and you are your own contractor, you're doing the run yourself for Amazon Relay, then no, you don't need workers' comp. You're you who you are. You got health insurance, I assume, you know what I'm saying? But if you have an Amazon Relay route and you got a driver, or let's say if your state requires, some states just have a mandatory requirement and they enforce it, then yes, you have to have workers' comp. Auction or reputable deal for startup, assume capital is an issue. Oh, I answered that already. Yeah, I would go reputable company. I just wouldn't take the risk with an auction. You know what I'm saying? I would take the risk with an auction if it was dire need. Let's say like earlier this year when trucks were $85,000, that should have really been $35,000. And the rental truck company is saying it's a year waiting list. Yeah, then I'm desperate. I'm thirsty. I go to the auction. I watch the guy at the budget auction. I streamed this auction maybe like 2 months ago. I actually, if you go through my live streams, you see I streamed this auction, and this guy bought a 26-foot box truck with a shot engine. The engine didn't work. It was shot for $31,000 at auction. That's how thirsty people were, because you know it wasn't nothing. He's gonna drop a new engine in it. He probably put another 20,000, 15, 20,000 in it, assuming the tow cross country from the auction to wherever he took it to. You know, it is what it is. But I'm not taking a risk at the auction if I have the means to purchase from a reputable dealer. Auction is like dire need. Now, if I got a fleet of trucks already and I'm just looking You know what? Nah, I can't even say that. I gotta keep it funky all the way because even like all my used trucks are budget trucks. They all came from the budget auction, but I paid a 20% markup. So I buy my trucks from a dealer here outside of Chicago, and he goes to the budget auction and he buys them, and then I buy them from him. But he's a truck dealer, so once he buys them from the auction, he peels all the stickers and cleans them up and puts a little paint on them and touches them up and spruces them up, and whatever he does, charges that 20% markup on top of the cost he put in to prep the truck for sale. And then I buy like that, you know what I'm saying? It just gives me a little bit more peace of mind. So I can't even say I would buy from an auction. It would really have to be dire need. Do you need a lift gate for Amazon Relay? They require it, but I know people don't have them. You know, they require it, but there's people that don't have them. So you know, if you're running facility to facility, you're not gonna need it. But if you're running the post office, you're gonna need it. So, you know, I've heard stories about people with no lift gates running post offices and they manually load and unload. You know, I don't know. My advice to you, if you're gonna do Amazon Relay, do it the right way. If you're gonna get you a truck with a lift gate. You know, a 26-footer without a lift gate and using a ramp, loading and unloading, even in final mile in the moving industry, is tough because that ramp is steep for a 26-footer, especially one that's dock height. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend a lift gate. You know what I'm saying? I would recommend a lift gate if you're gonna do Amazon Relay. If you're not going to get a lift gate, then I would only recommend you do facility to facility, because you get to the post office, you're going to be screwed. All right, any more questions? Every Tuesday night, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. If no more questions, then I'm going to go on here and get gone. Every Tuesday night, the Mentors Podcast, we talk trucking, box trucking. We talk about logistics. We talk about big L's, BGLS. I don't know what that means. What's BGLS? What is that? BGLS. What is BGLS? All right, but every Tuesday night, we talk box trucking, the Mentors Podcast, 7:30 Central Standard Time. My bad. All right. So if ain't no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and dip on up out of here. I appreciate everybody for checking in tonight. Tonight was a good show. I think we did. The numbers is getting up there. Been doing it for like maybe 2-3 months now. And yeah, it's looking good, you know. So if it ain't no more questions, your boy is gonna get little. I don't see no more questions. All right. Every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Mentors Podcast with me, Mark the Mentor, where we talk everything trucking, box trucking, logistics, and I answer all your questions. I appreciate everybody for coming out. See you next Tuesday.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it.